USCIS determines whether the person's salary or remuneration is high relative to the compensation paid to others working in the field. USCIS does not interpret the phrase "has commanded" to mean that the person must have already earned such salary or remuneration in order to meet the criterion. Rather, a credible contract or job offer showing prospective salary or remuneration may establish that the person has been able to command such compensation. Evidence relevant to demonstrating high remuneration may include, but is not limited to, tax returns, pay statements, or other evidence of past salary or remuneration for services, contract, job offer letter, or other evidence of prospective salary or remuneration for services, and comparative wage or remuneration data for the person's field, such as geographical or position-appropriate compensation surveys. Considerations: evidence regarding whether the person's compensation is high relative to that of others working in the field may take many forms. Examples may include, but are not limited to, geographical or position-appropriate compensation surveys and organizational justifications to pay above the compensation data. The following websites, among others, may be helpful in evaluating the relative compensation for a given field: the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, Overview of BLS, Wage Data, by Area and Occupation webpage, and the Department of Labor's Career One-Stop website. When evaluating whether a comparison between the beneficiary's documented remuneration and the remuneration in the survey is accurate, the following considerations, among others, may be relevant. The description of the occupation. Broad descriptions that include multiple occupations or multiple industries may not provide an accurate comparison to others in the field. For example, directors and producers might be listed as a single category across industries, but evidence that a film director receives high remuneration based on a broad range of occupational data that include disparate occupations such as film director and radio show producer may not be sufficiently probative. The validity of the survey. Some websites provide user-reported salary data, which may not be a valid comparison if, for example, too few users reported their salaries, or the data is otherwise not credible or reliable. Location and currency. Officers evaluate persons working outside of the United States based on the wage statistics or comparable evidence relevant to the applicable work location, rather than by simply converting the salary to US dollars and then viewing whether that salary would be considered high in the United States. And salary rates being measured. Officers consider whether the comparison data measures an hourly rate or an annual salary. Another consideration is how that information compares to the beneficiary's pay. Many artists are not paid an hourly rate, but instead are paid a daily rate, which may not be equivalent to 8 hours, or are paid a certain amount for a project involving an unknown number of hours. However, hourly wage data may still be probative if the petitioner submits documentation regarding the number of hours worked. Such documentation can include, but is not limited to, pay statements, personnel records, or testimonial evidence from the relevant employer. For entrepreneurs or founders of startup businesses, officers consider evidence that the business has received significant funding from government entities, venture capital funds, angel investors, or other such funders when evaluating the credibility of submitted contracts, job offer letters, or other evidence of prospective salary or remuneration for services.